Hello, I'm SammyP. Welcome to episode 38 of my Let's Voice series for Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. This is a series where I use the excuse of practicing my voice acting to justify playing video games. And if you enjoy the video, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. It's a great way to help the channel. If you didn't enjoy it, the dislike button's right there. Constructive criticism is always welcome, as are all comments, except for spoilers. Now, when last we left, we were about to go to Imperial Command. But I realized that I'm supposed to find someone at the docks, which is... Where was that quest? No tasks? Berteno. With the gloves, right, yes. So he's meeting Captain Maid Hamutu Stoneheel at the Brass Citadel docks. Right, so we're going to find Berteno first, I think, is what I'm going to do. And then we will go to command. Now, I don't know if you're aware, if you are watching my channel, maybe you are, but I've also started a second Let's Voice series. Playing the new Pathfinder game, Pathfinder Kingmaker. So I've just started that one. Time of recording, there's 3 episodes out. I think there's another one coming out tomorrow. But I'm enjoying that one, playing a very different character to our druid friend Hirsch. No, okay, we can't go any further. Ooh, we can find something here though. What is this? Cool. Yeah, so that is a lot of fun. I'm quite enjoying that one, but it is good to be back in Pillars. We can keep going with this. You the people I'm looking for? No. And you are... Hey! It's your friend and mine. Alright, cool. Full of ammunition. Alright, so a quick look around to see if there's anyone else. Don't think so. What are you? Pikeman Aquabusser? Aquabusser? Soldier. Okay, so the other person is clearly not here yet. Yeah, let's talk to Berteno. Hey, buddy. Beat it. I don't have time to chit-chat. The thin Valian glances over your shoulder with an expectant frown. He stares up at your head, distracted, before quickly turning away. You stole a pair of gloves from the dark cupboard. You give them to me. Not a chance, amico. He narrows his eyes at you. Facina sent you, didn't she? Postenago. Just for these. Shaking his head, he pulls a pair of fine gloves from his pocket, studying them with evident disappointment. Soft as dawn, but not a single fence willing to pay me a fair price. Maybe they've got imp stink all over them. I've forgotten what these mean. This is clever, this is passionate, and this is stoic. You're going to have a hard time. I'm not really wanting to pay him. You're going to have a hard time selling an archmage's gloves for fast coin. Should have guessed these were bad luck. Well, it's too late to go making smart decisions, isn't it? He opens his mouth to say more, but something to the southwest distracts him, and his expression fills with dread. Here he comes, and I'm too late! If Hamuto doesn't give me an extension on my debt, I'm a dead man. Okay. Keep your mouth shut. Follow my lead. Glancing at you, Berteno shrugs and swallows down a lump in his throat. Hey, did the guards suddenly disappear? That's not great. Oh no, they're up there. Okay. Oh, I was like, who is that? Why is she wearing something different? And she just walked on. A set of steely-eyed sailors approach the docks, clutching pikes and firearms with quiet professionalism. At their head stands a tall Umaru with a mustard-yellow uniform. He turns his attention between you and Berteno. So, Berteno, you hired a mercenary. Or else a negotiator. That coin should have gone towards your debt to me. Hamato rubs a long scar that extends the length of his neck. Ha! No, I didn't. That is... I would never go behind your back. Britanno's voice falters. He turns to you with sudden panic. Yeah, let's not start a fight in the middle of the dock. I don't like either of these options. Guess we'll say nothing? A silent mercenary at that. This is a private matter. Your interference is unnecessary. Hamato spreads his hands in a peaceful manner as his soldiers level their guns at Britanno. You sound more reasonable than I was led to believe. Do I? Huh. One can be adherent to the tenets of maritime law and still be seen as a monster. What is your plan for Britanno? Indentured servitude. I trust this is a more honest and respectable alternative than any pursuit he would take on his own terms. Or perhaps I can pay what's owed. You must care a great deal for this insufferable little worm to stake your purse on his freedom. Hamato taps his lower lip in thought. 400 pyres is what 400 pyres is what Britanno owes, and I will accept that sum to have this sorry business concluded. Well, payment as agreed. Then our business is concluded. Hamato? What have I been saying? Hamato signals his men to stand down. After a hateful look, they lower their arms and follow their captain's lead. I can't believe I'm finally out of debt. Oh, with the Principe. The Principe. Alright. For the first time in my life, I'm free! Britanno clasps his hands together, tears brimming at the corner of his eyes. I mean, technically you're indebted to me. Ha! Not anymore, I'm not! Here, catch! He tosses you Rokoa's fingers with casual disdain. It's on you, Britanno, all the way! Pirate Britanno doesn't get himself in anyone's debt. Laughing in a full voice, he makes a hasty exit. Ah, he's just so happy. What are these gloves? Oh right, I got a blunderbuss. Is that useful for anyone? The hell is wild shot? Reload time. Attack bounces? Wow, that's not bad. Fires faster. It's inaccurate. Minus 10 accurate blunderbuss attacks. Can you get rid of that? I don't know. Anyway. Dexterity and sleight of hand, hailing from the slums of Nekataka, the master pickpocket, Rokoa. Spark crackers. Produces a dazzling swarm of colourful bursts, startling and confusing everyone in the surrounding area. I get to be Jubilee from X-Men. Ja! Or I just give them back, and I'm probably just going to give them back. Ah well, that probably wasn't worth the 400 copper, but yeah, good deed for the day. I was like, what was that? It's a new map discovered. Imperial Command. Party gains 150 experience. You were just guards. Okay, let's look at this map. What do we got? Stairs down. Quartermaster. Hazanui Karu. Right, that's who I want to talk to. Sparring room. Exit. Was there someone else they wanted me to talk to? Okay. Nope, just speak with Hazanui. Alright. A young woman with a bright, wide smile and eyes to match raises her hand and gives you a quick but enthusiastic wave. Then, with an exaggerated look of embarrassment, she stops herself and crosses her forearms over her chest. I always forget that part. Say, you're the watcher from Cadnur, aren't you? I never met anyone famous before. Except the Hazanui, she yells at me sometimes. Her grin widens impossibly. The Hazanui yells at you? Oh, all the time! She screws her face up into a look of mock seriousness, but she can't keep from smiling. Oh. Where's my white leaf? Stop daydreaming! Saboni, if you lose that ledges again, I'll have you clean the latrines! At the last comment, she leans close, her eyes wide, her voice low with awe. All the time? I didn't realize she knew my name. Are you always this excitable? She blushes. It's my first time away from the rough country. The rough country? An affectionate Rauataian term for their homeland. Rough refers to both the unyielding rocky soils and the storms that battle the mainland. I've heard there were thick green forest and sandy beaches without a storm in sight, but I never imagined this. She shakes her head in wonderment. You must have travelled lots, seen all sorts of amazing places. Sabormi folds her hands under her chin, watching you intently. Sure. I've just got to get Aethys to stop stepping on them. Now that sounds like an adventure. She sighs dreamily. I love Rauatai, but it's hard to go a week without seeing storms or hearing about the mudslides burying a village somewhere. Her buoyant expression sags, but only for a moment. So, you're the quartermaster. Can you sell me something? Her face scrunches up in disappointment. I really wish I could, but my supplies are for the Royal Deadfire Company and our allies. Hazanui's orders. Maybe if you impress on her or Astura, they could make an exception. She smiles hopefully. Okay, farewell. Who's in there? Don't know. Let's find out. Nothing. Solution. You found 2 solutions. Yay. That is... Ooh, weapons master. Ooh, goodness. Ah. Oh, okay. I'm just trying to have a chat with you. If you could just... Oh, God. Oh, okay. I'm gonna just... Yeah. Oh, okay. No. Okay. Well, I don't know where we're... I'm sure there was someone else we were supposed to talk to, but I can't see them. Alright. Hasn't... Yep. Okay. Guard and more guard. Alright. I don't remember what voice I did for her, and I probably should have checked. Oh well. I say that a lot. Hazanui Karu paces near her desk, looking like a shark circling the shallows. She clenches a long, elegant pipe between her teeth, the smoke trailing an acrid wake behind her. She looks up when you enter and favors you with a brief nod of acknowledgement. The former Lord of Cadnua and the one-time terrifier of harbour masters. If dockside tales are to be believed. She smiles briefly through the smoke. You have not brought much good news of late. A pensive look returns. So in addition to pirates, profiteers, and slavers, the Deadfire has a vengeful god roaming its waters. She bites down hard on her pipe. If I'm honest, I don't think Aethys intends any harm. If your report is true, he's stomping port towns into craters. I don't much care why he's doing it. He must be stopped. She halts, turning to face you. You're finally able to get a good look at her. She's not especially large for Umara, but she carries her shoulders high. Her weathered face looks to have seen many storm-blown, sun-beaten days on deck, yet her eyes are sharp and keen. Well, he's a giant made of living Adra that can absorb souls in an instant. Got any ideas? Anything can be stopped with sufficient... Come on! Anything can be stopped with sufficient force. The problem is finding the will to deploy it. She watches you, her eyes bright with calculation. The Valians won't lift a finger if it isn't to snatch a coin, and the Huana will barely do that much. No? Tell it to the water shapers who washed your stranded boats from sandbars, Hazanui. Tell it to the water shapers who washed your stranded boats from sandbars, Hazanui. Takeu folds his arms and waits. Success in trade has been quite elusive for the Rauataians, but the bitterness suits you well. No one takes charge to solve the big problems, but perhaps we could work together to our mutual benefit. She takes the pipe in her left hand. As she does, you notice that her right is unusually still. What do you mean? Look around. Deadfire's full of fertile, temperate islands. Except for Ondra's mortar, it's largely free of rough weather. She waves her right hand. You notice again her fingers remain strangely still. You realize it's an unusually fine prosthetic. Yet much of its inhabitants itinerant tribes. Itinerant? I have to look that up. Itinerant tribes drift between some of the islands, and smugglers and slavers cluster around the rest. She shakes her head. It's a waste. Imagine what this place could be with well-guarded shipping routes. Shipping routes? Is it routes or routes? Well, I guess I got two things to look up. How many Rauataians could we feed with plantations here? I don't see how you're much different from the other powers here. A raspy laugh rattles from her chest. The Valian Trading Company wants to leech away every last coin they can from the Deadfire, no matter the eventual cost. They're little more than thieves. Pelagina's golden eyes begin rolling, but she catches herself by flicking her nictitating membranes back out. By flicking her nictitating membranes out and back again. The Principi are actual thieves, no matter their pretensions of nobility, and the Huana are happy to let them all pick away at their fractured empire. Where you see fractures, I see the line of ages. Lines big enough to sail the Valian fleet through. She eyes Takeu before turning back to you. We're interested in building something here. Pipe in hand, she gestures expansively. So you're exploiting Deadfire for the sake of Rauatai. That's a naive view. One our enemies are keen to promote. She scowls, biting down on her pipe. Takeu pinches his lower lip and smiles, and Maya sighs through her nose. Oh dear. Rauatai's violent storms have shaped and hardened us as much as they have our homeland's rocky terrain. But it remains a difficult place to live, so we rely on trade and on plantations we've established here. And those developments also create a more stable, productive Deadfire. She spreads both hands wide as if that explains it. I'm not sure I agree. Wait and see for yourself, Watcher. In the meantime, there's work we can do together. If you're chasing the god who stomped this place into the ground, then we have a common goal. And if we're going to survive this, then you could use an ally. A hint of a smile tugs her lips from her tar-stained teeth. Well, what do you have in mind? The disaster at Tasongo remains a key concern. We rely on the port there to ship food back to Rauatai. She sucks on her pipe, hiding her worried expression behind a cloud of smoke. That's on hold until your investigation. Short of that, there are other matters that demand attention. Atsura, our Grand Secretary, has a plan that would make use of your unusual talents. His office is downstairs, and he can tell you more. What's the game board for? Hazatoa. Astura and I usually have a game running, and this one's been going on for over a month and a half. Astura's good at misdirection, but I've got a mind for the long game. Well, you look like you've come with a purpose. Apologies if this is out of line. What happened to your hand? She extends her arm, holding the prosthetic between you. It's an exquisite piece, with reinforced joints on each of the fingers and a smooth, sanded finish. It happened a year into my first command. We were chasing pirates along Rauatai's southern coast, and they landed a shot right next to our magazine. A lucky hit. She's quiet for a moment. I ran below. The fire was already spreading and making for our powder stores. What did you do? I smothered what I could with my uniform, pulling the rest away with my own hands. If you hadn't, you and your crew would probably have died. She nods. We don't get to choose our challenges, do we? Just the way we meet them. There's a cost to every victory, and the win goes to those willing to make a sacrifice. She considers the wooden hand, turning it in the light. You sense satisfaction in her gaze. I'll bet you already know a thing or two about that. And if you don't, Deadfire will teach you soon enough. Well, thank you, and farewell. I kind of like her, but I don't... I feel myself siding more and more with the Juana. The Valian, I think she's correct about the Valians. Also, they seem, the whole slave trade thing seems a little untoward. But I do think the Rauatai are going to just run roughshod over the Juana. And that's probably not great. But then I don't like the Juana's caste system. I think the game has done quite a good job. I want to go there. There's the barracks, kitchen, another exit, and the jail. Interesting. I think the game's doing quite a good job at not making there be a particular faction who is the good guy. They're all very multifaceted, and someone has posted an earnest but excruciating attempt at epic poetry. Okay. hiding something. Most of these papers are letters home. Almost all praise Deadfire's weather. These rifles look perfectly maintained and ready to use at a moment's notice. I'm curious what's actually under this pillow, but I don't think I'm going to take it. A ruby. Wow, okay. Fair enough. Food-stained tally sheets tucked beneath the battlefield model suggest it's used for recreational purposes. They're playing Warhammer or something. That's fantastic. Alright. Jailer. Every new recruit challenges Priero to... Oop. No, doesn't matter. I was expecting there to be more going on down here. It's neat, but like... Oh, wait, the kitchen. Just a guard. Alright. Can't really take anything without being stealing. Find out what this job is. Plaque below the coral reads, "As we shape coral, we shall be... As we shape coral, so shall we shape nations. In victory, your Ranganui." The man behind the desk regards you with attentive, unblinking eyes and a perfectly open expression. His smooth features make it hard to pinpoint his age. The crinkles in the corner of your eyes suggest he is not especially young. He cocks his head, taking your measure. He pauses before speaking, just a little longer than seems normal. When he finally does, he crosses his forearms over his chest and gives you a slow, exquisitely courteous nod. The whole gesture is so perfectly choreographed that it seems he must have practiced it many times. Because of my diplomatic nature. Hirschwaldgeist Nui. What? Nui is big, often used after a person's name to indicate respect or admiration. Nice. Hirschwaldgeist Nui, the Lord of Cadnua. He gives you a sleek half smile that reveals a row of perfect pointed teeth. In his careful stare and the pause before he speaks, you recognize that he's studying you. I am not one for ostentation, but your remarkable display at Queen's birth suggests that you are an individual with skills, not mere style. I like to think I've got plenty of both. So I see. His eyes shine with interest. He blinks, perhaps for the first time since your conversation began. Cool boy. I am Asura, Grand Secretary of the Royal Deadfire Company. It sounds like a significant title, but he is strangely emotionless. Oh, okay. He might as well be describing the color of his clothing. For a trading company, you've got a very commanding presence in Nekataka. And why not? Thousands of years ago, our people came from the archipelago. By our reckoning, we have as much claim on these islands as the Huana. He shrugs and waves a hand in the manner of someone politely dismissing a compliment. Does all Rauataian law work this way? Where is that mountain of Asata shells I misplaced thousands of years ago? Takeu strokes his chin and idly glances around. But our purpose here is trade. He gives you that unusually placid smile again. While our homeland is rich in saltpeter, the violent climate and rocky soil make it a poor source for most other basic staples. I like that saltpeter is a basic staple. It's my business to look after the mainland's interests here. He spreads his hands wide to indicate his rather plain, dim office. Well, it's an honor to meet you. And it's a pleasure to meet someone of your elegant manners. He dips his head, returning the sentiment. I wish I had been there to see your grand entrance at the palace, but I avoid Serpent's Crown as much as possible. It is a place of entirely too much talk, and I find that the more talk one hears, the less it means. He smiles. You don't sound like you're entirely at ease with your neighbors here. Such is the world we live in. Were it different, all the locksmiths and masons in Eora would be out of work. He shrugs and spreads his hand as if the logic were self-evident. And here our neighbors include a nation of pirates and a fractured people led by a figurehead, to say nothing of the Valians. Leave it to them to observe a substance that occurs nowhere else on Eora and immediately set about pulverizing it for profit. A ripple of distaste passes over his features. And leave it to the Rauataians to ignore the dozens of other Valian animances, dozens of other uses Valian animances have discovered for Lumerous Adra just in the last few years. I do not think in years, Amica. I think in centuries. His eyes fix on her as a strange, blank smile spreads across his lips. Then he turns back to you. Yet the Valians toy with luminous Adra like a child who has discovered her mother's pistol. And what would you do with it? Nothing. We know too little about Lumerous Adra to understand the consequences of ripping it out. He pauses and considers you. Perhaps you can help me keep them from doing more harm. Well, if there's a problem, I'll help however I can. It's not about what the Valians are doing to us, but rather to all of the Deadfire. Concern tugs at his lips. Maya thumbs her chin, nodding. Pelagina nods, the corner of her mouth turning into a faint grin. Oh, they both like that. The demand for Lumerous Adra has sent the Valian Trading Company into a frenzy. Their expeditions grow too bold and their officers too greedy. He puckers his lips as though a lack of discretion at it. He puckers his lips as though at a lack of discretion at a dinner party. Worse, their rapid expansion attracts pirates and threatens the outlying Huana tribes. This risks souring the Kahanga royals against all foreign involvement. He inclines his head like he's about to let you in on a secret. But you can curtail their growth. This isn't about the welfare of the Deadfire. This is about them outpacing you. By snapping up land, we need to grow food and building ships for our people, indeed. But our interests and Deadfires are not mutually exclusive. He interlaces his long, well-manicured fingers. The Valians have sent an expedition to Poko Kohara, a storm-racked island believed to house a vein of luminous. I hear you accomplished an incredible feat in restoring the Lumerous Adra near Port Maje. He appraises you again with those unblinking eyes. If your abilities allow you to do that, then perhaps you are also capable of the opposite. Find the Luminous Adra at Poko Kahara, render it unusable to the Valians. This should encourage them to develop the resources they have rather than reaching for more. His eyebrows raise a degree, both a request and an invitation. I thought you were concerned about disturbing Lumerous Adra. Deeply, Hirschwaldgeist. He furrows his brow, frowning deeply. Abruptly, his expression clears. But if a small sacrifice here will discourage the Valians from further ventures, then it is a worthwhile risk. We'll see. Deadfire is a tumultuous place. Consider the virtue of an ally with ships, cannons, and the backing of a great empire. He gives you a soothing smile. I do not have the precise location of Pokokahara, but the tribe on the nearby island of Tikawara could probably help. I suggest starting there. He circles a small out-of-the-way island on your map. Now, what else can I do for you? Farewell. Oh, we leveled up. I'm gonna call it there, I think, for the episode. The conversation went a little bit longer than I was expecting, and I do kind of want to ask him a couple more questions, but I think we'll do that next episode. So that has been episode 38. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, as I said at the beginning, liking, sharing, and subscribing is a fantastic way to help the channel. And if you didn't, the dislike button is there. Constructive criticism is always appreciated, as are all comments, just no spoilers. So, hope you join me for episode 39. I've been SammyP, and I still don't have an outro. It's becoming my outro. Oh God. Oh no.